Are you sitting at the airport?
I am Georgia, right here at the airport.
Are you coming back? You're going out.
I'm coming back. I had a graduation for Alex
Tell
Sam.
everybody what happened. It's your stepdaughter, your daughter graduated from George Washington University, right?
Yes, yeah, she just graduated from George Washington, so she's almost on her own now.
Yeah, very good. And what does she want to do with that degree?
She's going to go to another college and get a master's in applied intelligence, which is kind of like working for like covert operations. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. All right, very good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, dear.
And congratulations to all of you who had family members or graduating, little ones to big ones, right? All right. So what did you guys that you attended MREA or excuse me, Mega Leadership Camp? What did you think? Any ahas? Mike Montgomery, you were there getting in front of all the people. What did you take away?
Uh, Honestly, it was probably my favorite event that I've gone to so far, and I've gone to a lot. But I think that what was great about it was the connections that you're making. You're connecting with leadership, so it's other people that you really want to be, having FaceTime with in that capacity. The knowledge was fantastic. Learning from the guy from Housing Wire, learning from Zillow was great. And then honestly, the breakout sessions were some of my favorite. We actually are revamping our entire approach in regards to recruiting. We're changing from a recruiting based brokerage to an event marketing based brokerage in an effort to recruit. And I think that was a big aha that I had at Mega Leadership Camp, that I was already kind of percolating, but I didn't know how to word it. And that was perfect wording. So it was fantastic. I highly, highly recommend that if you didn't get to go, that you definitely go to the next one. And I'm looking forward to Mega Agent Camp.
Awesome. Well, in the future, we're going to go back to Mega Leadership. It's going to be with Mega Agent Camp. It will not be this year, but starting, I believe, next year in August, that's when Mega Leadership will be. So what you don't know, Mike, is that for most of you that have been around for a while, you know that Mega Leadership was always at the tail end of Mega Agent Camp. Then about 2 to 3 years ago, they switched it up and they kind of wanted to give the mega agents opportunity to feel like they had their own event. And but then that kind of left out some of the leadership. So anyway, for a couple of years it was kind of wonky, but now they're going to go back to having everything all at once, which I think is better because then we can be there with our mega agents and then attend Mega Leadership Camp at the end. So that'll be awesome. All right. Well, I love that. And, you're right in my wheelhouse because we're talking about how are you telling your story? How are you changing your conversation about your market center? So you're right on target, Mike. So congratulations on that. You know what? Before we get started, I have a guest here. I was just kind of waiting for everybody to get on the call. Tara, are you there?
I am here.
How are you? There she is.
Hi, I'm good.
You all saw her at Mega Leadership, speaking of Mega Leadership, and she was on stage and she's leading our G5, and she also has a really, really great program that I wanted to share with all of you. And then at the end of Tara's presentation, I'm going to give you an exciting announcement where you have the opportunity to win one of these. So Tara, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Well, can you guys hear me okay? We've been having some Wi-Fi challenges today. Am I good? Good? Am I breaking up? Okay, good. All right. Well, if I don't know you all, my name is Tara Smith. I am a multiple market center OP. We're in Lexington, Cincinnati, Louisville, and Southern Indiana. We've got about 800 agents in our offices. And I have been in Keller Williams leadership for just now about 12 years and started as a team leader in 2014, transitioned out of the role after about a year and a half, went into MAPS coaching, and then came back into the team leader role in 2019 in a market center that my husband and I were investors in that was actually not growing. It was stalling out. And my business partner, Peter Chabri, called me and said, "Hey, Tara, would you be willing to do an interim team leader role for about 6 months? And while I can make a really good hire." And I'll just tell you all, if you get the call about interim team leader, it's a trick. They're going to hire you as the team leader. So no, but it was kind of a trick and a joke because I stepped into the team leader role. Intention was to be in 6 months, and also COVID hit. So I ended up being in the team leader role for 3 years. And at that time, I lived an hour and a half away, and I was commuting 3 days a week. So I was actually working as a full-time-ish team leader 3 days a week on site, and I was coaching with MAPS with the rest of my time. And so I came into a market center with 95 agents, and we lost 8 cappers my first month in the role. So that was a lot of fun. And my goal was to basically build systems because I knew I was going to be transitioning out. And I wanted to build systems that we could hire a great team leader to run the play and get the same results. And I knew if I built it on my energy and my enthusiasm, that would not be long lasting for us. And so we started building market center systems. And we ended up in 2020 grossing 137 agents. We netted 72 agents that year. So we black belted in that market center, and we black belted 3 years in a row in that market center. And I do attribute it to the systems, because the one thing I know to be true is we are a company of model systems and tools. And we hear a lot about building great systems in theory. And on the market center side, a lot of times we don't have access to the templates and tools we need to run the play. Would you guys agree with me? Are y'all staying? Are y'all following along with me? I'm highlighted, so I can't see you all.
Yeah,
Okay, good. So here's what we've done. I created, here's how this was created. My MAPS coach, we were going to transition me into leadership coaching. And part of that was I needed to go out and recruit a coaching roster. And so for 3 years, I taught this course for free. And it was called, I don't know what we called it, but now it's called Market Center in a Box. And the first session I taught was in 2020, and we had over 200 leadership people show up, start taking the systems and building them out. And actually, a lot of our systems, you'll see on Family Reunion, we see it on the stage, from training calendars to different tools for onboarding. And so I know that they've been taken and used. And so I'm just going to show you guys kind of quickly what this training looks like. And we'll talk a little bit about when it starts and if you guys want to attend and when we plan to have it up next. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Now this is my slide deck for the class. So I'm not just going to show you a flyer, but I want to kind of show you guys how this works. So here's an example. This is a market center organizational chart. How many of you guys have a market center organizational chart? Anybody? I don't see a lot of hands up. So here's the thing. If we don't know where we're at and where we want to go, how do we grow into and create opportunities for our people, right? So this is one of the very first slides. We give you the templates to build out your market center organizational chart, right? First thing I came up to. So you'll see in here, we have job descriptions, we have agreements for different employment contracts in here. We have tracking systems for your leadership team. We have just some other resources and tools. We go through in deep detail developing your leaders so they understand the MREA models. We go through how to have a shared Google Calendar. We talk about building out time blocks strategically so that when you invite someone to come in for recruiting or onboarding, they're getting resources before they arrive. We give out sample GPSs. So what does an effective Market Center GPS look like? We have Mike, I love that you talked about Market Center client events. Does anybody remember the old Bet on Red playbook?
Yeah.
So we have created, we've been doing 4 quarterly events for client events, reverse bold 100s. We're going to give you all the toolkits for all the client events in the Market Center that you can literally just R&D. And then we have onboarding systems in here. We have surveys to get your 5-star Google reviews. We have offboarding systems. We have a first 30-day orientation trackers. So you guys can see, we give you our orientation binder. So when someone joins your market center, what do we physically give them so they understand where to find the resources? How to build an effective affiliate program. Our target in this class is how to create $20,000 a month in outside income. So we walk you through setting that up for your market center. So all of this to say, like, it's literally, we took theory, we built it out. So this has now been running 5 years now in 4 market centers. We took the theory and we created templates. So every single system we teach, you're going to get the actual system that you can then, like when you click this, it goes into your Google Drive as a copy, you modify it for your market center, and you can run the play. And so at the end of this, you'll see, here's a sample on what do we do with social media? What numbers does your team leader report? What numbers does your coaching program report? So just some things that we're doing in this program. We do a little snippet on G5. We've got some additional growth systems, how to track lead generation for your market center team. So all of that is in here, and I'll show you guys kind of at the end. These are all of the systems that you are given in the class, and you can just click and implement. This class, we generally, well, actually, let me ask you all first, does anybody have questions? This is a 4-hour session that I'm kind of showing you snippets of. Does anybody have questions about like the class, how it might impact your market center or be valuable for your team?
I'm gonna go to the gallery and see. Go ahead. Mike, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So you said it's 4 hours. Is that just one 4-hour session, or is this over multiple weeks that you're doing this?
That's a great question. So I teach this once a quarter, Mike, and our next session is actually starting this week. So we start on Wednesday. It's 2 2-hour sessions on Zoom. And we do a ticket for the entire leadership team. So one ticket, it's $4.99. The entire leadership team can attend. And because I love Georgia Alpizar and I have a lot of respect for her, and also she's one of the very first people I met at FSO back in
I think I was your trainer or something, wasn't I?
Georgia, I bumped into you in the back of a bus on the way to FSO 3
Okay.
weeks after I joined KW, and I'll just say it was probably one of the most impactful bus rides I've ever been on. So anyway, yeah, so we're gonna do $100 off for this region, and you guys can use it for our session this week, starting, or you can save it and come to another session in the future. But if you can't make the sessions, we send out a complete recording of the session and the slide deck, so your team can go back and revisit it at any time and review it as you need to implement the systems as you're building things up.
So is it 2 calls in a month or 1 call a month for 2 months?
It's 2 calls in a 2-week period. So we'll
Okay.
do a call this Wednesday from 1 to 3 Eastern time. And then the following Wednesday, the 28th, we'll do another, the second call.
They're
And then
back, so they're back to back.
Yeah, 2 calls back to back. We have a Facebook group that some people jump in and share resources. G5 was born out of this, by the way. So if you guys have been to G5, and we just relaunched it with really amazing rewritten material, but G5 is actually a result of a snippet of this class that we expanded on. Yeah.
So Mike, did we get your questions answered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Marietta?
Yeah, so if we are in G5 currently, is this going to be different material than what we're seeing in G5? Or it's the same material, just I guess dwindled down? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. So G came from about a 10 to 15 minute class. It's some, and so then we have like 37 others that we actually teach in this course. So
you broke up
this is
in the
gonna
middle
be
of that. Sorry.
Tara, you broke up
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
G5 probably makes up about 5% of the total content of this course. So we're going to teach you 4 hours of systems, about 38 systems, and one of the G5, it'll be about a 15 to 20 minute segment. The brief overview of G5.
So, so we have, so you're gonna get a coupon code from this call, I guess, right? Tara, you're gonna have your person send that out. I think she's frozen, but I know what it is. Okay, it's in the chat. And so, if you guys sign up by the end of the month, you have to the end of the month, but the class starts next week, sorry, this week. But if you want to wait, or I guess Tara, is she still there? Because I
I
lost her.
am. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
If they want to get the material, but they can't be on the call for some reason, they could get the material if they sign up now. And if they couldn't be on the call, they could be on the call the next time you start it, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we will do 2 sessions, this week and one next week, and you'll get a recording and the content for each session regardless. And so we recommend your entire leadership team attend, because I truly believe that growth and retention go hand in hand, and everything we do is tied to growth and retention and value. Yeah.
So, so I guess if they couldn't, and I guess I'm assuming that if they can't take this call or they needed to attend another call once they bought it, that they could jump on another call with you, right? Just to learn, to learn more.
Yeah. So if you miss a call and would like to do that session in an upcoming one, we'll make that happen for you.
Awesome. And I'm going to show you guys something here a little bit later on with the KW Cares fundraiser. So Tara was giving enough to have that as an auction item. And so I won the bid on that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that back in, and it's going to be something that one of you can win. And the way that you can win it is I'm going to show you the KW Cares. You saw the $888 challenge by Market Centers. So if you wanted to, if you're the top market center that contributes, and I'm going to show you to the KW Cares auction for Mo, then you will be the winner of that registration, Tara.
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
kind of nice. So, awesome. So guys, I know a lot of you are looking for models, systems, tools, and different things. And I'm assuming you've got these updated with command and all that kind of stuff, right? You update
We
them.
do. Yeah, we do. And I see over in the chat, like Liliana and Olga, Ogla have both taken this with me. So we're constantly evolving. When we see a need, we add a system, or we build something, or KWI brings something, we're updating it. So it's definitely evolved over the past 5 years.
And I'm asking this, and I'm assuming so, because once they get this material, they're going to load it into their Google Drive. And I'm assuming as you update something, the sheet would be updated. I'm assuming that, but I don't know for sure. But knowing you, so it's not like you get it and it gets outdated. It's as things progress, you're still a part of the process, right? So next year it would be maybe an updated spreadsheet or something.
Yeah, so anybody that has access to the slides from when we first sent them, you'll see we add, they're in the slide deck. So the slide deck gets updated, and you can always go back and reference it to see if there are new systems in it.
Awesome. Ogla.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's an understatement to say this is a class. This is a full reorganization of your market center. And I'm gonna put Carla on the spot because she was a brand new team leader. And when she went in there, literally our Google Drive for the office started when I was a team leader back in 2017. And we had things everywhere. Carla would add a question about, where do we find this? I'm like, on Drive, just put it out there, Google and Drive. And Carla was like, this is driving me crazy. I need organization. So literally within her first couple of weeks on the role, we signed up to be to take the class with Tara. And Carla, maybe share from your perspective, how's that helped you as a team leader in just getting everything kind of synced together? Because it really made a big difference for us, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. and of course I'm happy to share with everyone how Tara changed our lives. So now that we've got, the onboarding systems, we are able to send out a 30, 60, 90-day checklist to all of our new agents, which is a great accountability tool, helps everybody stay on track. We are also able to onboard them very easily month over month. And anytime that we have to go to the slide deck, like Tara was saying, because we created our own market center in a box. So this is like all the tools from what Tara shared with us. So anything we need, we can just create, launch, implement. It was just the best thing. So I'm really grateful.
I'm assuming if you wanted to tweak it, for something that you wanted to change, Tara, I'm assuming that you could copy it and adjust it to whatever you want it to be for your market center, right?
Yeah, so they're actually getting copies of our templates. So when you get the deck, you click the link, it actually creates a copy into your drive that you can modify for your market center. And it just gives you a really good foundation to run the play. And like the thing is, in a market center, kind of how this started was I went into that team leader role, and the OP at the time said, we're running this place amazingly. All we need you to do is recruit. And I showed up the first day and met with our staff, our leadership team. And I said, okay, guys, we've never done this before, but we're going to start grossing 10 agents a month. Okay. Are y'all in? And they all looked at me like I had grown a second head. And I walked out of the meeting and I pulled the MCA aside and I said, hey, why did everybody get funky when I talked about grossing 10? And she said, well, nobody on our leadership team was ever hired with any expectation to help with growth. That's the team leader's job. And what we quickly uncovered was we had a horrific onboarding experience happening there, and people were coming and leaving, and it was creating a story about our brand. And so by nailing onboarding, we actually started rewriting our story. And one of our targets in this program is to get 3 warm referrals from every single hire you make in the first 30 days. And we set that expectation, and we built little systems inside of it to do that. So, I guess I would ask you all, if you look at all of your gross for 2024 and you multiply that by 3, that's usually enough warm referrals for you to hit your annual goal on recruiting. And yet, rather than get those referrals at a high like top agents do, we just bring them in and move on. And so we're going to think like a top producer and build great systems to support our company, just like a top producer would. So yeah, you guys get templates. You can make it your own. You can modify it for your market and your market center. But I think it'll really change. It'll take some of the chaos out of your world and let you set up things that are scalable, duplicatable, sustainable, and repeatable, and things that give your agents a 5-star experience all along the way. Yeah.
So, very good. Anybody else have any questions? All right, so I'm going to, you got the registration in here. Tara, did you give that to my people?
I did. So the one I just shared is the special promo we put together for this region.
Okay, awesome. So here's the thing. We're going to run the contest through the end of the month, but I know some of you may want to get registered and jump on this call this Wednesday. So if you should decide to do that, what we're going to do is we will refund you. So if you go ahead and register and you happen to be the winner at the end of the month, then we're going to refund back to you your registration fee. Okay. So you're going to sign up for it anyway. And the good news is that if you win, you're going to get the money back. So awesome. And Tara, I'll be taking care of that donation that I made. They sent me the link for that. So we'll be sure and take care of it. Thank you for donating that. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. So thank you. Any questions? We're good? All right. Thank you. We appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you guys.
For us. Bye-bye. So, speaking of G5, congratulations. I think I put it in the, let me just show you the folder, but I think I put it in the folder. I just wanted to say, I wanted to show you guys that we are tracked on this, and we have several market centers that are in the G5 program. And I wanted to see if I put it up here someplace. Yeah, here it is. So, for those of you that are in the G5 program, I just wanted to say big congratulations because they showed us on the RD call today. If you can see this here, look at there, well, this is your 1 week attendance. So North Florida, we had 83%. So it's really, really important that we get everybody to participate. So that was the first week attendance. So good job on that. And then on our participation, for all market centers that are supposed to be participating, we had everybody participate. So there you go. So Florida North had 100%. So congratulations and thank you guys for all of your participation. All right, so let's move on to what we're going to talk about today. And well, first of all, let me show you the KW Care so we don't forget this. You should have all received some type of correspondence from KW Cares regarding the Mo's birthday, her 88th birthday, if you can believe that. Okay. And so the goal is to, in honor of Mo's birthday, is they want each market center to raise $888, however you choose to do that. And I think somebody asked me a question, and I'm going to double check that. Does that contribute towards your contribution of your $5,000 a year? I believe it does, as long as we can track it and show that it came from your from your market center. So the way that you know this, and we'll work to make sure that you're notified as well, but you can look up your market center's fundraising page. Everyone has a fundraising page that was designed for them. You can share your fundraising page, and then however you choose to do it. So they can go on to KW Cares and donate, or you could put a cookie jar or a change jar, or you could have a cake bake or whatever it is that you wanted to do, and have your market center raise money. And so here are the links. So this is where you would go to donate. And if you want to have the promo kit, this is where you can click to get the promo kit. And Ashley, we'll send these out in our follow-up card, or that would be Delia. We'll make sure that we send these out in our follow-up call today. And then big congratulations to Lakeland. They're already at $320, so they're on their way to the $888. And then let's see, I think we had who was next? We had Orlando South, they're at 163. And we had South Tampa that is 112, and then you can see the rest of the donations here. And I'm honestly not sure that all of you saw this, because I'm sure if you did, we'd have a lot more market centers participating. So again, if you get to the 888, you will be on a call with Mo, on a coaching call with Mo for whoever you choose to have on that call, I'm assuming. What all I'm saying is that whoever has the most money raised will get the market center in a box. Now, if for some reason, whoever has the most money raised and you don't feel that you need that market center in a box, then we will give that to the next person. So I want to make sure that if we're giving somebody a gift, that they use it at the highest level. Okay. So congratulations, Lakeland. It looks like you're in the lead for that. Orlando South, South Tampa. And we got a few others at $53, and we got a whole bunch that have some opportunities. So let's make sure that we're supporting Mo and her birthday, and hopefully you guys can get the market center in a box. All right, let's move on to what else we want to talk about here. Liliana, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm wanting to share with all of you just some things that some of our market centers are doing, because I would, and I'm sharing these because I get them. So if I get something from you, and I know I'm getting one from Sean, so I will share this with maybe on the next call. But Liliana, you are sending this out. I know we talked about it last week, but I just want to show the consistency, because sometimes you think that somebody does it and they're not consistent. This is her message of the week. Now, are you writing this? Are they AI generated, or where do you get these ideas?
No, that's my brain.
AI?
No, that's my brain. I
Okay.
think about what my message for the week is based on conversations that I'm having in the market center with our agents. And kind of like the common threads that I hear. And in the past few weeks, I've heard a lot of I'm tired and a little bit of burnout and a little bit of lack of planning. So that's where this one came from. Yeah, that's just my brain.
Well, that's good. Do you get AI to help you write it? Or do you like say, hey, I'm giving burnout and can you give me some ideas to put in an email or a message?
Yeah, so sometimes I do use the AI, I'll put like I brain dump
Right.
what's on my brain, and then AI makes it like organizes it for me a little bit. But writing is my thing, so most of the time it's me.
Okay, very good. Now, writing is not for everybody. So if
Mhm.
it's not your thing, you can kind of, as Liliana said, kind of brain dump into AI. And if you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it because it'll give you an outline or some ideas, or it might write too much or may not sound like you. So you can kind of go in and tweak it and make it be
Yeah.
more like you. And I will say, the more you utilize it and put your own words in it, the more it kind of customizes things to who you are because it starts to know how you talk. Would you agree with that, Liliana?
100%. What I did on this one, this was yesterday's actually, I did use AI to create the plan to reduce exhaustion. And I asked it to do it in GPS format. And I created a very simple, take these steps out to reduce exhaustion. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from this already from our agents that they needed this. That was mainly the feedback. Thank you so much for this because we needed this.
Yeah.
We have to understand that they're not going to sit there and think through the things. Sometimes we have to think through the things for them.
So this is what she was talking about. This is what she put into AI, and it kind of created this because it understands Keller Williams and the GPS and all the things that we do. So it really kind of writes it with our company in mind.
Mhm.
So this is what she created. Now you send this out Sunday morning pretty early, like at 6 or 7 o'clock, because I see it pretty early in the morning.
Yep, it's scheduled to go out on Sundays at 8 a.m. I actually sit Friday night between 4 and 7 p.m. and that's when I sit down and do the email. Because that's usually when I have some quiet time. Yep, and I schedule it and it goes out Sunday morning, and yeah, I usually get emails on Sunday or texts. Today I've gotten like 8 to 10 texts, just agents saying thank you so much for this. I really needed to hear this. Just little reminders. It's little touches, right?
Now, and then you put your own, just so I can show them, you put your own, to show them that you follow one, you put your own GPS in here as well, right?
I put my 411 there. I have a few agents that actually look at that. And it helps me to know that they're paying attention so that I do the thing that I have to do. And I can't run away from it. So
So
yeah, I
that's
can ask my AAC for a 411 if I'm not giving it to them. That's where it comes from. But I just share it with everyone.
and you put some other things in here. You put gratitude and you put thanks to some agents for sending the referrals this week and accountability and events. And you put some other little things in here as well. So, do they find it's a bother when they get it? Do they say, please don't send me these emails anymore? Or do they love it?
No, they love it. There was one Sunday that I had forgotten to schedule it on Friday. And by 8:10, I had like 5 texts. Where's the email? Like, oh my God, I have forgotten to schedule it.
I used to do a call at 7:30 every morning. It was called an all call. And at 7:30 every morning, and it was 7:30 like live because we didn't, back in those days, we didn't have like, where you could record something, send it out later. So, but it was called an all call and it was voice retrieval system and it would go out to, it would go out to everybody. So I did a call at 7:30 in the morning and it was, good morning, everybody. Hey, congratulations. It's Liliana's birthday, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you what's going on today in the market center. And I would talk about, the calendar, and I would tell them like our company dollar goal and our profit share goal and where we were with all kinds of different things. It was maybe very, very fast, but it was maybe a minute to a minute and a half call. And if they didn't want to listen to it, I said, if you don't want to listen to it, delete it. Here's what happened though. if I was like 7:33 or I seriously 7:33, 7:35, they were calling me or email. It was a voice retrieval system, so they could leave me a message. And hey, where are you? Is everything okay? What's going on? We haven't gotten our message yet. And it was their wake up call. I mean, I found out that a lot of times it was their wake up call. It was their beginning of their day and everything. So you start putting tools like this together in your market center and you don't realize how much your people start to look forward. I'm going to use the word depend on you or for your leadership to honestly guide them or to let them know that you're in sync with them, right?
Yep. The ones that because I always put something around like personal development that's sometimes it's completely real estate related, sometimes it's not. And the ones that are not real estate related, what I'm saying is agents are just copy pasting the email and sending that as a touch to their database because it's general enough, because it's not generic, but it's general enough to where they can just use that as a touch.
So do you follow up? Do you send this out to recruits or how else do you use this besides your internal agents?
Yes, so I do copy recruits that we really want in. I don't copy everyone that we've met with. I copy the ones that I really, really wanna come in.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they reply to me, sometimes when I call them, I'm like, are you getting my Sunday emails? And they're like, oh my God, we love your Sunday email. But we still haven't turned anyone because of the Sunday email. I think it's just layer effect. It's a touch.
It's not that you're going to necessarily see the results of that from that, but it's the consistency of what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and it's a touch. It's something that they want to read.
Hey, Gene Rivers, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you remember when you told me this? Well, you told it in a business planning clinic about having your face in the movie theater every year and stuff. Now
You're gonna make me talk about that.
Well, I know it because I love that story but I think it has a lot to do with this because you didn't see, like, nobody called you and said, I see you up at the movie screen, as I recall, but you kept, I remember you said you kept renewing it. But do you think?
Well, no,
it's
no, what happened is Rebecca and I and the whole team, everybody kept getting comments from people that they knew. They'd say, oh, we
Right.
saw you last Friday at the movie theater. Oh,
Right.
we took our kids to the movie theater
Yeah.
and we saw everybody commented, but nobody called us to do deals.
Right, but you never were able to equate, did you get a deal from that? But yet it was the mindset of the consistency of people seeing it. Do you think that made a difference?
That's not the way to think about it. Of course, it makes a difference, but it's mind share with people who already know who you are.
Yeah.
The businesses that buy the most billboards and big public ads like that are competing with their main competitors. So Coca-Cola is fighting Pepsi. But if you're an unknown soda, nobody drives by the billboard and says, gee, I think I'll try that soda.
Right.
That's not, people see it, but that's not what they're going to buy.
Right. Got it. Awesome. So do you think sending these letters out to recruits, she may not get a recruit from it, but yet it's still in the mind share of people recognizing her name?
Absolutely, but it's a little more important than that. Sending these letters to recruits is like a golden letter for agents in neighborhoods where they don't know any of those people there, but they're touching them with the quick, short little mini story about this family with 2 kids who needs to be in this school zone, and your home is perfect for them. I think, if possible, would you consider selling to the Rodriguez family? Would you consider doing that?
Right.
And you get responses off of that because it's personal.
Yeah. So I'm trying to equate a mega agent business is very similar to a team leader business.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. I love your stories sometimes.
Well, that one, I hate that story. It's a real story, but it's real.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that other story that you talk about too, because we're talking, actually, if you would just talk about that for a little bit, the event that you had, sometimes people want to spend, thousands of dollars. And there was one event you talked about your, the paella guy, which I think you spent $8,000 or $10,000 on that. And then there was the other one where you spent maybe, I don't know, under $1,000 and you did the baseball, stuff and your name was all over the place and on the fence and everything. Tell that story a little bit, because I think that's a great story too. You know what story I'm talking about?
I think you're mixing up a couple of stories. And by the way, I'm not a baseball fan, so we didn't do, it was the soccer field.
Soccer field, okay.
Yeah, no, school sponsorships we found for us because we have kids, 4 kids, and we were always going to the schools. And we live near the schools, so our client base is families, dual income that live in the area where the kids go to this school. So we found this having a banner and donating $500 or $1,000 to the team for whatever it was they needed money for, and then sitting in the stands with all the parents at every game, and they're staring at your banner across the field. That's hugely important. That gave us a lot of business, just very simply. In fact, we ended up realizing that we're going to be there. So Rebecca, for many times, she would volunteer to be the ticket person. So everybody who came to the game had to pay Rebecca the $2 for the ticket. And she said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I volunteered occasionally to be in the food hut. So if you wanted a burger or get something off the grill, I would get to talk to you for 5 minutes while I burned your burger. So, getting that face-to-face stuff is hugely important, knowing your target audience.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share that because that's very similar to you going to a broker's open or you participating at at an event or doing something to help an agent or something. The more you're out there networking with your people, the more visibility you're going to get, and the more validity I think you get because you're participating, right, Gene?
Prospecting beats anything. Face-to-face is number 1. Phone calls are number 2 because they're time efficient. And then letters and other marketing is number 3. They all work, but what works the best is face-to-face, hands down.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, let me just continue on and show you a couple of other things here. Can you all read my screen, Ashley? Okay, so one of the other things that we're doing for you, and then I'm going to go into some of your appointments and everything. We are doing this because I realize I think we've done this for 3 or 4 now, and we've been sending these out to you. But what I realize is, first of all, I believe that the podcast is a huge, huge, huge opportunity. For 2 reasons. 1, every time you listen to the podcast, you're going to learn something. Now, some are better than others. Some bring more value than others. And depending upon what an agent may or may want to listen to. I've asked Delia to go back to some of the ones that I think were, I'm going to say, the most valuable from the perspective of, door knocking or, somebody that wasn't necessarily that excited about making calls or going out and meeting people, the introvert. There's several of them that I think would probably resonate better with you in some of your opportunities than others. So we're going back and we're doing the combination just as we're doing now, because what I think is a challenge is when you go to send this or use this as a tool to be able to send it to an agent or recruit or even internally, you've got to go find the podcast. You got to lead them to the podcast, and then you got to send them the 1-pager, and it's just a lot of work and you don't have time for that. So Delia is now doing this together. This is a post that you can put in Facebook or Instagram or send it out, whatever you choose to do. You can scan the QR code and you can listen to the podcast, and you can scan the 1-pager and get the 1-pager all in one tool. So there's no reason that you are not listening and checking out the 1-pager. And there is no reason that you're not using this in some form or fashion every week to send out to internal or external agents. So I've published a smart plan for the podcast from all the 1-pagers. That's great. Now you've got that they can go and listen to the podcast, Mike. So it would be really, really simple for you guys to use that. But listen to them yourself, because they bring value to teach you what top agents are doing, just like Jean just did. What top agents are doing to be able to build their business or streamline their business or make more money, whatever it might be. And then you've got the one pagers. I used it a couple of times along with mine. I've gotten some great feedback. Awesome. So now you have it every week on Friday. Delia is getting it. On Thursday is when the one pager comes out. So the podcast comes out Monday. The one pager comes out Thursday. Delia is doing it on Friday, and we're sending it out to you on Friday. So you're all ready to go to get that into your 8x8 for the following week. And then we are keeping these for you in the hub. So if you ever want to go back and get any of them, on another call, I'll show you where they're all kept, but it's pretty simple to be able to go and find those. So we're trying to do as much as possible to help you guys and streamline some of the things that you're trying to do. Okay. A couple of things about the OPs, and this is something that we're going to work on, but I love this and I want to show it to you, but we're going to tweak it. This was in the OP kit or materials at Mega Leadership. As Ben and I were going through it and working it with several market centers, I kind of found this part a little challenging, to be honest with you. I don't know that I understood it as well as it's maybe supposed to be explained. So you're welcome to use it. I just don't know how accurate maybe some of the numbers are, depending upon how profitable or not profitable your market center would be. So I want to lead you to the right answers, but there's two things here that I think are important. Ashley did this for you for our region. I want you to, we're going to send this out to you. But I'm going to, Ashley, before we send it out, I want to fix the bottom part. Okay. We're going to put down here, we're going to put the, paint by numbers, because I think the paint by numbers is a little bit easier for everybody to understand. However, this top portion is really impactful, I think. If you go back to 2019 through 2024, these were our appointments. This was our gross. This was our appointment to gross percentage or, ratio. Our region agent count, the company dollar, the profit, the company dollar per agent, the annual company dollar per agent, and the profit per agent. Okay, now, as a region, my numbers may feel a little skewed because I've got market centers that are profitable and not profitable. So mine is a combination of, if we have 30 market centers that were profitable and 8 market centers that were not profitable, in some cases, my numbers may not look as good as your market center. So this is kind of like an average of some of for the region numbers. But I still think it tells a story of, look at where we were in 2019 with appointments. Now, here's an interesting fact. There's still approximately the same amount of agents, at least 200,000 agents in Florida. I think we lost 7,000 agents last year in our area of the state. Maybe we were 212 and maybe now we're 200. I wasn't prepared to show that to you. So Ashley, do you know where that is in reports? I can probably go and find it real quick. But regardless, there's still the same amount of agents, or roughly about 200,000 agents in Florida. So I don't know why appointments would be less, unless it's because there's more people getting into the business and that's why the appointments changed. I don't know. I guess that would be a great question for us to mastermind on. Our gross has gone down. And our ratios to appointments to gross has gone down. Obviously, our agent count has gone down. Our company dollar has gone down. I think we kind of know some of the reasons for that. But I think it's a great exercise for you to go back to your market center and see in 2019, where was my company dollar? In 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, where was my company dollar? Is it because you're losing agents? And you lost company agents that were producing company dollar to you and you haven't replaced them? Is it because you changed your economic model from 70-30 to 80-20? Is it because of your legacy cap? I don't know. I think it's a great exercise for you to go in and maybe look at each year and see. It could be a combination of a lot of different things, but I think it's a really great exercise for you to be able to go in and do. And we're going to ask each market center to do this. I'm going to correct the bottom part. I'm just going to change it actually, and then have you resend it. But we want to see that you're doing this exercise and then have it sent to us. We'll be giving you the instructions on that later. But look at your profit, look at your company dollar per agent, and look at your profit per agent. Okay. Down here, we're going to replace this with the paint by numbers exercise. So I'm going to fix that up for you. And then after we get through our May month end close, we're going to be in the month of June. So we're going to be 6 or 7 months. Can't believe it's this fast from the end of the year. End of the year is coming very quickly, in 7 more months after June. We're going to have 7 months, including June. So we really want to get everybody focused on where they need to be at the end of the year, and then we'll be working with the OPs and maybe some of you on what your ahas are from this exercise. So I just wanted to share this with you so you knew what it was about, and you can start working on this now. When we send this out, you can start working on this portion, and then this portion here, which we're going to redo, that'll get completed in the month of June. Okay, but we'll get this sent out to you shortly. All right, and then because we're getting close to the end of time, I just want to show you something. Oh, whoop, shoot, quit sharing. It's interesting. It says stop sharing, and then it was still sharing. Don't know. All right, let me open this back up again. I want to show you a tracker that we're doing, that we're going to be sending out, and get your feedback on a couple of things to make sure we're focused on some of the right things, or if it makes sense to everybody. All right. We are now monitoring, as we've told you before. Command is going to be the tool that Keller Williams is tracking for your appointments and gross and net. We don't have the net number available right now, but that's the tracker, excuse me, that's the system that Keller Williams is going to be using to track your numbers. So let me show you what we want to send out to you every week, or what we're going to be showing on the call, and get your feedback. I don't see everybody on my screen. I don't know why. Okay. I know, but I just don't see everybody. So here's your tracker to gross, 8 or more. We believe, as I've gone through and checked out most of the goals, most of your goals for the most part are 8, 9, 10, 12. That's what the majority of the market centers have. I know that some people like Mike and a couple of others who have smaller market centers are 5 and 6, and we got a couple that are 7. I understand that. And at the same time, we want to be tracking to 8 or more, and we're looking for a minimum from anybody at 5, but we want to be tracking to 8. So we just wanted to show here, like Lake Nona, South Shore, Jack's Beach, Southside, St. Petersburg, Tampa, Siesta Key, Gainesville, St. John's, Venice. What we're looking at: Celebration, Claremont, Lakeland, and Bradenton, Manatee. You're all tracking to 8. So what we're doing is every week Delia is going into Command, and she's looking at the first week. You should be tracking how many? What should you be tracking in the first week? Somebody go off mute and tell me that.
2.
2. Very good. Second week, how many should we be tracking?
4.
Awesome. Are we in the second week of May as of Friday?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we should be tracking 4 or greater. So we're gonna spotlight these market centers that are 4 or greater, because I want you to see who is tracking, so you can then have a conversation with some of these team leaders or OPs or leadership staff, depending upon what role you have, and you can see how they're tracking to be able to get to the 8 or more. So congratulations to these market centers, because you're on track to gross the 8 or more. All right, so that's that particular one. Then the other one that we're going to be doing is appointments. Now, this is the year of the appointment, and they were very, very clear at our event how important appointments are, because I honestly don't know how we can probably get to where we need to go if we're not having the right appointments. So what is the goal that every market center should be hitting every week in appointments? Who can tell me that?
10.
10. So where would was that Liliana?
Yes.
So where should we be at second week?
20.
20. So I'm saying somewhere between 32 and 40 appointments is where I would like to see you guys move to. Okay. So what we've done here is that would be, like, what is it? 32, I'm giving us a little leeway here. 32 divided by 4 would be like 8. Okay. So Orlando Lake Nona, good job, Liliana. Now, Liliana, I believe you're at 14 or 15 gross right now, aren't you? Are you not?
Yes, ma'am. 14.
And 29 gross. Lakeland, I think you got a big gross number. And then Orlando South, Carla, I think she's got a big gross number. Now you're at 14. So, we had an extra couple of days in there, the first and the second. So I wanted to give everybody a benefit. So these 3 market centers are really on the cusp or hitting the numbers that they need to hit. But what's interesting is out of all of the market centers that should be tracking 40, we only have 3 that are tracking kind of where they need to be. So we're going to be sending this out. So big thank you for that. And then this is actually out of Command. So we have your market center appointments held through May 19th. So we're sending this out to you as well. Now, it actually is through Friday, because 3 o'clock in the morning, it is when it does its update. So these are really through the 16th, because it does the update at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So these are all the market centers. This is where we get the information from. So I'm going to be sending this out, but here's the thing that's important. I'm going to show you the Slack numbers in a minute. Our grand total, according to Command, is 205 appointments. Our Slack total is 352. So the difference between Slack and Command is 147. And actually over here, we're able to pull everything that everybody is doing, whether it be a value proposition or needs analysis or whatever. So it's really giving us detailed information now. And we can actually go in and see who is doing the appointments, or who's tracking the appointments, or whatever. So this is really going to lead to really good conversations for us. So this here, why do you guys think the Slack total would be greater than the Command total? Can anybody help me with that one?
Because we're not tracking our appointments in Command.
Oh, who was that?
Candace.
Oh, well, Candace, that was a good observation. You think that might be the reason?
Well, yeah, because everybody's used to always putting them in Slack, so not everybody's updating their appointments in Command.
So if you need, thank you, Candace. If you
You're
need help with this, our new RTT, Daniela, is more than happy to be able to have a group call with you, which might be good. I think we're going to set up some group training on this to be able to make sure you know how to put your numbers in. And I'm going to start having her go and do her comparison between Slack and Command to make sure we can get this updated, because eventually, guys, Keller Williams is, they send me really nice little love notes about numbers. So I just want to make sure that you're all looking good. And then here is our gross. And so let me show you this. And by the way, your gross is what's going to be leading to that great profit number. So here is your gross, and here's where we get these numbers from. Okay. And then our grand total here is 115. Now my Slack numbers is 98. And what's interesting here is we've got 17 more in command versus what we have on Slack. And again, we have all of the information over here and actually who the recruit's name was. So we're pretty good in being able to go in and kind of like track some of these things down now. So that is that information. And then if I come over here to Slack, I think I kind of what Candace was saying, there's two things. One, it's really important that you're keeping your Slack numbers updated. I know we were gone and I get that, but it doesn't really stop us from updating our numbers. And even here, Liliana Lake Nona, I think you got a difference in
Yeah, it's because of the beta testing that we're doing for Donnie, but that
Okay.
shouldn't be the case anymore.
Okay, so here's where we pick up these numbers, and then here's some others, and then you can see the ones in blue have not reported yet. So this is what happens, guys, when we get the numbers in command, which is great, but we don't get the numbers in Slack. And I need to make sure that I'm pretty much spot on with a lot of our numbers. And eventually, we may eliminate Slack, but until we see that everybody is consistently putting their numbers into command, we can't do that. So please make sure that you're updating those numbers. And plus this gives me a little bit more detail on what your numbers are looking like. Now, just as a reminder, remember the sequence of numbers is your R1 appointments, your R2 appointments, your R1 gross, and your R2 gross, and then your net. Okay, so that's how we track that. So if you don't see that we're tracking your R2 gross, it's probably because you might be giving us a total, or you're not tracking it separately like R1 and R2. So if we have that consistently, we'll be able to show your numbers correctly. Okay. All right. That's all I have for you guys. We're back. We've got this entire week and everything that you learned. And we have the next week and everything that you learned. Ashley, what else do we have for them?
The 888 will contribute towards their 5,000.
The 888 will contribute to your $5,000, which is your stipend that KWRI has set up for KW NextGen and for KW Cares. And I think we got everything covered that we needed to cover. We are going to be asking you guys to tell us your story. So first of all, if you are doing these emails or sending out anything, add me to your list, because I would like to see what you're doing. If I don't see something, I guess I would naturally assume that you weren't doing something, but it would be nice to see that you are. Number one, we're going to be asking you what your story is. Like, why would somebody want to join your market center? We're going to be having this exercise with the OPs and you guys. Like, why would somebody want to be a part of your market center? And then the fabulous Delia has gone in and checked out the websites, the Instagram accounts, and the Facebooks. And we see a lot of opportunity for those to be updated. So if somebody was trying to find you or find your market center and learn about you because they maybe want to make a move, if I can't find you and I know who you are, it might be hard for somebody to find you that doesn't know who you are. Right? So I think there's some opportunities there, because the more and more I'm hearing about things and messages that we're getting from KW and just my own experience with looking for things, I think we're kind of becoming a secret company, and I think we need to get our name out there. So we're going to be helping you with that as well. And now we got two great people to help you, Delia and Daniela, both superstars that can help you with some of your opportunities that you have to do things a little bit better and get our name out there. So thank you guys for everything you do. Appreciate you. And no call on Monday because it is Labor Day, right? Memorial Day, Labor Day. I got that mixed up with somebody else. Memorial Day. So, thank you to everybody that has been a veteran and supported us in the military. We really appreciate that. So, we hope you have a great Memorial Day, and we'll see you on the call the following Monday. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye. Go grow, 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 grow. Woo, woo, grow. Grow, 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 grow. Grow, 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 grow. Grow, 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 grow. Go grow, Wayne. Get it going.